Assistant Chief Education Program, Project Management 101, or Every Election in Every Precinct is a Project. This is the first module in the pre-election group of modules. The point of this course is to get you to think about each election as a project. The Project Management Institute defines a project as a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. In every election, what you do on election day in each polling place is unique. Each election is unique. It may be similar to what you did in the last election in that same precinct, or what happened in the election a year ago or 4 years ago, but it is still unique. You have no two elections in the same polling place are the same because the polling place team changes, the ballot contents change, the laws change, the guidance changes, the systems that you're using change, and sometimes the precinct location or layout changes. As we think about pre-election planning and managing this as a project, in this case, the chief is the project manager. And as we said in the introduction slides, an assistant chief needs to be ready and prepared to be a chief. Applying to be an assistant chief means the candidate has considered this and is willing to step up if the time comes. So an assistant chief needs to be ready to be the project manager for this project if the situation warrants it. This is called Project Management 101 because it's going to give you a simple run-through of how to manage a project. So how do you run a project? For every project, you need to know 3 things. Where are you? What assets do you have to work with? Where do you want to go? What's your objective? And how are you going to get there? We'll consider each of these. Where are we? To answer this question, you need to know where you're starting from. Who do you have to work in the polling place? That's probably the most important question. Where is the polling place, and what is that location's capability? What systems, poll book, scanner, etc., will you have to work with, and what are the processes that you have to use in the polling place? And this will include SDR provisional processes, how you keep your ballots secure, what you need to do with outside poll voters, what the requirements of the law are, how you treat poll watchers, etc. Where do we want to go? Ask the question of what are the goals for this election project? Everybody who should vote should get a chance to vote. All the voters should be treated with respect. You want to follow the law and your education. Report the results at the end of the day. Safeguard and return the ballots, the results, and key equipment at the end of the day. Keep your team safe. Well, that takes us to how are we going to get there? And this is where it gets interesting. For every chief and every precinct, there are going to be elements of the project plan that are unique to that polling place and the elements that are in common with all precincts. We will start with the plan elements that are in common across all precincts. Common plan elements. Plans are plan elements that are written, improve communication with your precinct and your precinct leaders, and they also improve communication with your future self. What did I do last time? You do not have to have written project plans or pieces of plans, but notes or outlines can be a help if you don't. One of the plans you need is an education plan, how, when, and who. The elections manager will communicate this. Your job is to amplify it and apply it to your team. A communications plan, there's a whole separate course on this because communication is so vital. And the timeline, the schedule of events before, during, and after the election. Much of this is set for you. Some of it you set for yourself. There are some unique plan elements that are specific to your polling place, your precinct. This would include polling place layout, the voter flow through the polling place, furniture arrangement, pre-election setup. All these are specific to where you are going to be working. EO assignments, the setup assignment, the initial assignment, rotation plans, closing assignments. These completely depend upon the officers of election that you have and your experience with them. And then some of the specific polling place needs. Outside poll voters. It may be a long hike to get to where the outside poll voting happens. SDR volume management if you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of same-day registrations. Shared location precinct requirements, Monticello High School, for example. Split precincts if you have more than one ballot style, down in Scottsville. how you're going to manage your food, what kind of breaks you're going to take, where the EOs should park, and any other location-specific issues. So you have a plan. You've figured out all of these things. I've always wanted to find this quote, so I put it in here. Kein Operationsplan reicht mit einiger Sicherheit über das erste Zusammentreffen mit der feindlichen Hauptmacht hinaus. Forgive my German. In English, it's no plan of operations extends with any certainty beyond the first encounter with the main enemy forces. And this is often shortened to no plan survives contact with the enemy. You've got a plan, it will have to flex and adapt as unforeseen issues arrive. Don't fall in love with your plan and thus fail to respond when things change. On the other hand, we plan to be prepared, and there is some truth to the adage that failing to plan is planning to fail. As the afterword, we want you to think in terms of each election that you participate in being special, and it requires all of the effort that the first election you participated in required, and maybe even more as time has gone by. Develop a specific project plan for each election. Tailor your plan to the people and the systems that you have available, and be prepared to make adjustments as the election day rolls forward.